but I have to let everybody know this, and we need to hear Ryan's reaction especially. But here we go. Let me read you this report from Adam Schefter himself, the number one source of NFL news. New York Jets quote, New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers is on Robert F. Kennedy's shortlist to be his running mate on an independent presidential ticket in November, the New York Times reported. Take that all in, Ryan. How about the fact that the New York Jets quarterback and Aaron Rodgers might retire from the team to run for vice president of the United States? Tell me what goes through your mind when you hear that.
I
Reported
mean,
by the New York Times.
honestly, it's almost a perfect tweet from Adam. It is the most make-believe sounding real information that has ever been shared. Usually when you hear something that sounds super fake online, it is super fake. That's why it sounds that way. This is all real, but it sounds like something out of an episode of like Veep.
Yeah.
It absolutely no sense at all. And by the way, I'm looking here at RFK's. This is about 6 days ago, so grain of salt. Axios is reporting that RFK is currently on the ballot in Utah, but will soon qualify in 6 more states, 3 of which are considered key battleground states. I believe RFK needs to be on like I forget the number. It's more than 6 though. To actually get into a general election debate, he certainly needs more than 6 to. He needs to be in enough states to theoretically be able to win an election, in order to be in the debate, polling at 15%. So Aaron Rodgers might throw away. This is true. The smartest man in the NFL, Joe Rogan would probably back me up on that. Smartest man in the NFL might throw away the remainder of his legendary career, by the way, legendary career, to lose Utah by like 200 points and also not even be on enough ballots to be able to win the election. It's the dumbest thing he could possibly do. And I, just for people who don't know, find Aaron Rodgers to be one of the dumbest people I've ever heard speak in my entire life. I don't think he's smart. I think if you think he's smart, you might be one of the dumbest people I've ever heard in my entire life. And this would take the actual cake if he gave up his professional football career to do this. It'd be one thing. All right, I don't like certain candidates for office, but if one of the main candidates asked Aaron Rodgers to do this, right? If I'm just gonna throw it out there. If Donald Trump went to Aaron Rodgers and said, "I saw you on Joe Rogan. I love that you hate vaccines. You should be my running," and Aaron Rodgers said, "You know what? Sure, I'll leave what I'm doing because guess what? If you do that, if you side with him, like worst case scenario, you're a coin flip away from being the second most important person in the country, right? Do you do this? There's nothing here. There's nothing. If this dude's last name wasn't Kennedy, he wouldn't have even qualified for Utah. Like, this is stupid, Matt. You can't possibly think this is smart.
No, I don't. For the fact, one thing you're telling me after 4 snaps, for all you lose your first season. For all that talk about how you want to prove people wrong and how you want to come back and give the Jets another true chance. And just a couple weeks ago, he said he was up for as much as 4 more seasons to play for the Jets quarterback. After all that fanfare, and you just get up and leave, man, talk about being mad at Saquon. That will truly be the most hated athlete in New
I'll
York.
tell you what. I'll tell you what. By the way, if he does leave, it's because his knee's effed or his Achilles is effed, and he tried to freaking, he tried to homeopathic medicine his way to owning the liberals, and now it's probably irreparably damaged. If he doesn't play again, if he's done, that means that we were all right. Everyone who said you really should do like modern medicine to heal that thing, and he's like, "No, I could play right now." When he was throwing that ball around on the sidelines, and everyone looked at me and said I was wrong, and he's proving everyone right, and the doctors don't know anything. No, if he doesn't play, next season, it's because he's hurt and he doesn't want to admit that he's an idiot who thought that he was smarter than medicine. That's what that means. And you know what? He deserves Robert Kennedy. I don't want him to be in a real campaign because he might actually win something. He deserves to be in this Don Quixote freaking nonsense campaign that Robert Kennedy is running. Kennedy has lost he tried to be the libertarian nominee. They said no. He tried to be the Democratic nominee. They said no. No Labels doesn't want him. And No Labels doesn't even have No Labels has no candidate. And they just all they know is they don't want him. That's all they've decided. Was like, we don't know who it's going to be for us yet, but it's not going to be Robert Kennedy Jr. That's all he's done. Is get told, nah, not this year, not us. Sorry. But not Aaron Rodgers. He's into it. Absolutely stupid. And I'm sure he's only done it so this could happen, so people could scream about how stupid he is, and because he likes to hear people say his name. So congratulations, Aaron. You've
It was a
accomplished
quiet
that.
6 weeks without
Exactly.
him.
Yeah, he felt like, oh my God, no one remembers me because we're not talking about me. God forbid we take a minute to talk about Kirk Cousins, Aaron. Goodness gracious. So this is stupid. I hope he does it, but it's stupid if he does. I don't know. At this point, I've lost enough seasons as a Jets fan that if he really thinks this is smart, I hope he does it, because I don't want, talk about quarterback IQ being an important part of the game, especially for an older quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. I don't know how you see quarterback IQ in this decision. It's simple math. You need more than 6 states to win the presidency, you goof.
You imagine they somehow pull it off? You actually see him on a VP debate in the fall.
I would love that. It'd be hysterical, but they still won't win. Even if they get on enough state ballot, even if they get on all 50, Matt, truly, even if they get on all 50, they're still not going to win. They're just not going to.
Dude, also you have here that, who was also considered?
No.
Jesse Ventura. With some more of the quotes here from the New York Times article.
You know what? In fairness to Kennedy, Jesse Ventura was elected governor of Minnesota and is considered, by the way, to be a decent governor. So, I won't.
He doesn't want to choose him. He'd rather choose Aaron Rodgers, the New York Jets quarterback.
Again, as funny as that is, that Jesse Ventura, he's technically more qualified than Robert Kennedy. So I don't want to poo-poo that, but they're both more qualified than Aaron Rodgers to lead anything. We can't even have him lead the Jets offense. He got hurt in 4 freaking tries.
Man, the fact that he just retire up. Do you feel by time we speak again in 2 days over Zoom to make another show, that he'll come on his boy, Pat McAfee, to clear this up, and then we can report on
clear it up?
Or to make clear, or just,
he'll talk about it.
To confirm or deny the rumors.
Yeah, he'll
say to be fair, this is all rumors.
He'll say that he's being considered. Even if he's not being considered, he's going to publicly say he's being considered. Because, again, he has to have people talking about it. So, yes, by the time we talk about this again, in just 2 days' time, we will have new information from Aaron himself, where Aaron says he's considering it. And I believe that 100%. I don't know that means he's going to be picked. I don't know that means that Aaron Rodgers will even agree to do it. Or even that Robert Kennedy is looking for Aaron Rodgers. Again, Jesse Ventura and Aaron Rodgers are very different people. It'd be weird to put them on the same list, but
I was also wondering if, Rodgers might say, well, I could do both.
I mean, technically you could, right? I mean, actually, that'd be tough, right? Because football season starts.
If you start in July and you have to at least commit till New Year's Eve, where you have to play on Sunday and Monday or Thursday, and you have practice on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then you travel Saturday. No, I don't think it's possible. He might say, listen, unless the Jets, who clearly will bend over backwards for him, give him a special schedule.
Yeah, they could reduce his practice so he can do stuff. The only thing I can think of is that they come to the conclusion that seeing the vice presidential candidate play football every week is
that's the campaign
is enough exposure for the vice presidential candidate that it's fine. They'd be like, Kennedy will do all of the regular stuff that he's going to do while running, and then just be like, And look at Aaron Rodgers. He did good last week. But that means what if the Jets lose? He's going to look like a loser. In real time, he could look like a loser. What if the
Not
Steelers beat the
already.
Jets? You look like a loser in real time. That's a dangerous game. But that's the only thing I can think of is if their thought is that, I mean, A, he retires outright to do this, or B, their thought is you just being a famous quarterback is enough for this to work. And in fairness, it is enough for this to work because no matter what he does, it's not going to work.
Man,
So
this is so Jets too.
it
Like
is.
the like you telling me this guy who's supposed to save the franchise, not only I thought it was so Jets after losing him in 4 plays, but he decides to come back and want to come back, and then he leaves to go into politics.
The only thing that would be more Jets is if he waited till the after the first preseason game. That'd be the only thing more Jets is if he waited till first preseason game and was like, actually, I want to do vice president, and then left mid game. That'd be the only thing more Jets is if he left mid game to go be the vice president.
Oh,
But
last thing here before we move to talking about Oscars, there was a Packers podcaster named Kyle Fellows who tweeted on April 25th, 2023, right around the time where Aaron Rodgers announced he's leaving the Packers. He said, Jet fans are going to be big mad when Rodgers doesn't play in 2024, so he could be Robert Kennedy's running mate. Called it. Oh, man. That's a real tweet. I can
I
even show you
believe
right
you.
here.
I believe you. I mean, he likes Kennedy. They don't like vaccines, the two of them, and so they bonded over that. And in fairness to Kennedy, Kennedy, if you listen to his plans, are dude, you just whatever he's feeling mostly. I wouldn't he's not doing oh, I'm doing all Republican or all Democrat stuff like traditional. He's just kind of whatever popped into his head on the most recent episode of Joe Rogan podcast. That's his policy platform, which is exactly how Aaron Rodgers' policy platform would look. So they're very similar in terms of their lack of thought that goes into all of this. So they're made for each other. And so I get why you predicted it. That was a good prediction, but you know what? With a little bit of thought, you get past how ridiculous it sounds. They're made for each other. It makes sense.
Clearly, man. Clearly. So